Welcome to another Ziva Math video. In this video, you will learn how to solve problems using the order of operations. We've included basic problems to more advanced with grouping symbols and exponents, so use the chapters to skip around if you're looking for more advanced problems. The acronym PEMDAS is used to help remember the steps for solving order of operations problems, and it stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. PEMDAS gives you the order of the steps that you will complete, and you always work in order. P stands for parentheses, but it includes all of your grouping symbols. You solve the parts of the problem inside the grouping symbols first, following the rest of the steps in order. Then you solve exponents. You solve multiplication and division in the same step, but must start on the left and work your way to the right. The same is true for addition and subtraction. You can solve addition and subtraction in the same step, working from left to right. Let's take a look at our examples. This example is 2 plus 6 times 3. And we're going to use the acronym PEMDAS to help us solve this problem. And P stands for parentheses. And we don't have parentheses in this problem, so then we check for exponents. There are also no exponents in this problem. So our first step is going to be any multiplication and division that we see. And we only have one multiplication and division step here. That's the 6 times 3. So that's going to be the first step that we solve. 6 times 3 is 18. Then I still have the 2 and the plus sign remaining in the problem, so I'm going to bring those down so I don't lose any pieces of my problem. Now the only remaining step I have left is 2 plus 18. 2 plus 18 is 20. This example is 24 minus 8 times 3 plus 17, and we'll use the acronym PEMDAS to help us keep track of our steps. P stands for parentheses, also includes our grouping symbols. We don't have any parentheses or grouping symbols here in this problem. Then we'll check for exponents. We also don't have any exponents in this problem, which takes us to the multiplication and division. I do have one multiplication step in this problem. It's here with 8 times 3. So this is what we want to solve first. 8 times 3 is 24. Then it's very important that you make sure that all of the other pieces remain part of the problem exactly how they are and in the right places. So the beginning of the problem was 24 with a subtraction sign. So I'm going to bring that down and keeping it in the right place. Then at the end, we had plus 17. So I'll also bring that down, keeping it in the right place. So now I have 24 minus 24 plus 17. I don't have any more multiplication and division in the problem, so we're on addition and subtraction. I do have 2 addition and subtraction steps in the problem. I'm going to start on the left with 24 minus 24 because you have to work left to right. 24 minus 24 is 0. Then I still have the plus 17 as part of my problem, so I'm just going to bring it down. Now I have 0 plus 17. 0 plus 17 is 17. This example is 8 divided by 2 times 3 minus 4 plus 10. And we'll use the acronym PEMDAS to help us with our steps. P stands for parentheses and also includes any other grouping symbols, which we don't have in this problem. So then we'll be looking for exponents. I don't see any exponents either, which takes me to multiplication and division. There are 2 instances of multiplication and division in the problem, and you'll always start on the left. So I'm going to start with 8 divided by 2 because it's the furthest piece of multiplication and division on the left. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then I'm going to bring the rest of the problem down exactly how it is. Make sure you're not changing any signs or flipping any numbers around. Now we have 4 times 3 minus 4 plus 10. And there's still multiplication in the problem, so that's what I'm going to do next. 4 times 3 is 12. And then just like before, I'm going to bring the rest of my problem straight down. So I have 12 minus 4 plus 10. I don't have any more multiplication and division, so now I'm on addition and subtraction. And I see 2 addition and subtraction steps in the problem. And just like with multiplication and division, you have to start on the left. So I'm going to do 12 minus 4 next. 12 minus 4 is 8. And I'll bring the rest of my problem down. So I'll have 8 plus 10. 8 plus 10 is 18. The acronym PEMDAS gives us the order that we complete order of operations problems. It begins with P. P stands for parentheses or grouping symbols. And in this example, I do have parentheses. I have 8 minus 2 times 3 inside the parentheses. So I have to work with this section of the problem first. I don't have any exponents, so I'm going to be looking for multiplication and division inside the parentheses. You start the problem with what's inside your grouping symbols, and you continue to work the pieces in order according to PEMDAS. So I'm looking at the multiplication step. That's 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Then inside the parentheses, I still have 8 and the subtraction sign. So I'm going to bring that down along with the parentheses, grouping 8 minus 6 inside the parentheses. And then I have 14 and the addition sign outside the parentheses. So you want to make sure that you're rewriting the problem with all of the pieces in the right place, especially what needs to remain inside your parentheses. Now, because I still have parentheses in the problem, I have to continue working inside the parentheses. And there's only one step remaining inside the parentheses. That's the subtraction step of 8 minus 6. So that's my next step. 8 minus 6 is 2. Then I'm going to bring down the 14 and the addition sign that's still part of my problem. And my final step is going to be 14 plus 2. 14 plus 2 equals 16. Keeping in mind that the acronym PEMDAS tells us the order we complete the steps in a problem, we start with P, which stands for parentheses and other grouping symbols, which I do have here. So looking inside the parentheses, I'm checking first for exponents, which I don't have. Then I'm looking for any multiplication and division. So inside the parentheses, I do have some multiplication and division, and I'm going to work it from left to right inside the parentheses. Starting on the left inside the parentheses, I have the 10 divided by 5. That's going to be my first step. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then I'm going to make sure I bring the rest of the problem straight down, keeping all of the numbers, parentheses, signs, everything in the right place. Still working inside those parentheses, I'm looking for any more multiplication and division, which I do have with 2 times 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. And again, I'm going to bring down all of the rest of my problem, keeping everything in the correct place. Now inside the parentheses, I have 4 plus 4. That'll be my final step inside the parentheses. 4 plus 4 is 8. Now we'll bring the rest of the problem down. So I have left the 8 inside the parentheses, but I don't have any more steps inside the parentheses. That parentheses around the 8 means that we're going to need to multiply it by the 3. So I don't have any more parentheses. I don't have any exponents in the problem. So I'm at multiplication and division. And the 3 next to the 8 in parentheses means to multiply, so that's going to be my next step. 3 times 8 is 24. Then I'll bring the rest of my problem down, then minus 16. So my final step is 24 minus 16. 24 minus 16 is 8. The first letter of PEMDAS, the P, tells us that we start the problem by working inside grouping symbols. In this problem, we have brackets, and inside the brackets, we have parentheses. We'll start the problem inside the parentheses. The only step inside the parentheses is 25 times 3, so that's what we'll do first. 25 times 3 is 75. Then I'll carefully bring the rest of the problem down, making sure that I keep the brackets in the right place, all of the numbers and signs exactly how it is in the problem. Now I'm still working inside the brackets. I don't have parentheses. I don't have exponents, which means now I'm looking for multiplication and division inside the brackets. And I do have division inside the brackets. I have 16 divided by 2, so that's my next step. 16 divided by 2 is 8, and I'm going to carefully bring down the rest of the problem. Now I'm still looking inside the brackets, inside my grouping symbols, and I don't have any more multiplication or division, so I'm working with the addition and subtraction. And I have 2 addition and subtraction steps inside the brackets, and I'm going to be doing them from left to right, starting with 100 minus 75. 100 minus 75 is 25, and then again I'm going to bring the rest of the problem down. Now I'm still working inside those brackets, but I only have one step left, 25 plus 8. 25 plus 8 is 33. Bringing the rest of the problem down, I'm now at the final step of my problem, 33 minus 10. 33 minus 10 is 23. Keeping in mind that PEMDAS tells us what order to work the problem in, the first place I'm looking in this problem is for grouping symbols, and I see that I have parentheses. So that's where I'll be starting with 18 minus 9, because that's what's in parentheses. 18 minus 9 is 9, and then I'll carefully bring the rest of the problem down. After parentheses, I'm looking for exponents, and I do have exponents in this problem. I have 6 squared. That will be my next step. 6 squared is 36. 6 times 6 is 36. Then I'll bring the rest of the problem down, keeping my signs and everything in the correct places. Now, I don't see any more exponents, so I'm looking for any multiplication and division that I have. And I see that I have division here with 36 divided by 9, looking from left to right. 36 divided by 9 is 4. And I also have multiplication here, and I can go ahead and complete this step at the same time. 5 times 2 is 10. And I have the addition sign in between them that I'm going to bring straight down. So now I only have one step left in my problem. That's 4 plus 10. 4 plus 10 is 14. While PEMDAS tells us what order of steps we should be taking when solving the problems, you do have a little bit of freedom when working these problems through as long as you're following the basic order of operations. So looking at PEMDAS, P stands for our grouping symbols, and I have brackets and parentheses here. I also see that I have exponents. And because of the placement of the exponents here inside the parentheses and then outside the parentheses, I can be working these steps right now together. I can do 4 squared first, which is 16. I can also do 5 squared right now at the same time, which is 25. Then I can very carefully bring down the rest of the problem, making sure that the 16 is inside the parentheses and all of my other numbers and signs are correct. Now, I am working inside the brackets, and inside the brackets I do have the parentheses. That needs to be my next step. 16 divided by 8 is the only step inside the parentheses. 16 divided by 8 is 2. I can bring down the rest of the problem, again being careful to keep the grouping symbols in the correct place. And now inside the grouping symbols, I only have one step remaining, 2 times 2. That's the step I'll need to take next. 2 times 2 is 4. And now I'll bring down the rest of the problem, and I'll have 4 minus 25. You also need to be careful in working order of operation problems and making sure that you follow all of your integer rules. 4 minus 25 is going to be a negative number. 4 minus 25 is negative 19. While PEMDAS does outline the order you should work these problems in, you do have a little bit of flexibility in the steps as long as you follow the basic order of operations. So looking at P, P stands for parentheses and grouping symbols. And in this problem, I see that I have brackets and I have parentheses. E stands for exponents. And I do also see exponents in this problem. And I've got exponents in 3 different places, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and start here. I'm going to start with 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. Then 4 squared is 16. And 2 cubed is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Now I'm going to very carefully bring down everything in my problem, making sure that I'm getting brackets and parentheses and all the signs in the correct place. Notice that I did 4 squared, I got 16, and I no longer have the parentheses around it. The 4 squared was the only thing in that set of parentheses, so I can remove that set of parentheses when I rewrite my line here. I'm still working inside my parentheses and inside my brackets. I don't have any more exponents, so I'm looking for multiplication and division. And I don't see any multiplication or division inside the parentheses or inside the brackets, so I'll be moving on to addition and subtraction next. And looking just inside the brackets, I have addition and subtraction. I'll start on the left with 4 plus 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. And now I'm going to bring everything in the bracket part of the problem down. So I'll have 10 minus 16 inside the brackets. And at the same time that I did the first step inside the brackets, I can then go to the step in the parentheses, the 8 minus 15, and do that step right now at the same time. With 8 minus 15, I need to think about my integer rules. 8 minus 15 is negative 7. I'm going to leave it inside the parentheses right now because the other thing I have here is the multiplication sign, and I'll be wanting to bring that multiplication sign straight down. So leaving the negative 7 inside the parentheses for a little bit of separation there is going to be helpful to me. Now I still have steps inside the brackets remaining. I have 10 minus 16. That's what I'll need to do next. 10 minus 16 is negative 6, and I'll bring the rest of the problem straight down. So now my final step is negative 6 times negative 7. A negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 6 times negative 7 is 42. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to Ziva Math for more videos.